Welcome, sports fans. It's week 9 in the NFL, and the Sports Buds are here with our picks. I am joined by Tony Parlay Reyes and Nick Nicopedia Kerr. Gentlemen, how are you doing?
Great.
Doing good.
Right on. Well, I'm your host today. I'm Chris Billings. Let's jump into it. We're headed off to Germany, Frankfurt. We got the Miami Dolphins at the Kansas City Chiefs. Chiefs favored by 2.5 points in this one. I'm going to start off with Mr. Parlay Reyes. Who do you have, Dolphins or Chiefs?
Well, Chris, I really thought maybe the Chiefs were due for a downfall here, but they had that in Denver against your Broncos in that upset win. Chiefs losing 2 games in a row. This for some reason being the game that the NFL has chosen to showcase in Germany. I just don't think the Dolphins are there yet. I know Xavier Howard and Jalen Ramsey are going to be active for this game. I believe they're going to need a little bit more time to get their chemistry together and acclimated. And Patrick Mahomes in this international game in a primetime spot, I feel like he's going to just win this game, and it's going to be a late call or it's going to be a late drive, and they're going to win by a field goal, as we've seen Patrick Mahomes do time and time again. So I'm on the Chiefs.
Prime time in Germany. For those of us in the mountain time zone, I have to wake my ass up at 7 a.m. on a Sunday again. Thanks, Europe. Anyways, I'm picking the Chiefs. I think one of the things that people aren't talking about with that Broncos-Chiefs game was it was kind of a trap game. I think the Chiefs might have been looking a little forward towards this game, knowing that they're going up against a tough AFC opponent that they might most likely meet in the playoffs again. So yeah, I don't see the Chiefs and Patrick Mahomes losing 2 games in a row. I see the Chiefs winning outright by a field goal or more in this game. So that means we have to go check in on our South Beach aficionado, Mr. Nicopedia. Oh, of course he's on the Lonely Island. We all should have known this. Tell us why you're picking Miami, Nick.
I'm picking Miami because they're playing the Chiefs at the right time. They're finally healthy on defense. They got their starting defense out there. And I believe that the Dolphins need this game more. You saw how they played against the Bills and against the Eagles. They didn't come up for the game like they did against the other wins. So I think that they do come out for this game, and I think that's why they traveled over there early. They go over there Tuesday. Chiefs weren't getting there till Friday. I think the jet lag does get to them. It becomes a factor. So I think the Dolphins do win this in a close late game.
All right. Hey, the Chiefs go down 2 games in a row. You're not going to see me complaining. So good luck, Finn. All right, coming back stateside, we have the Minnesota Vikings heading to ATL to face the Falcons. Ooh. We're not sponsored by alcohol, by the way. We're sponsored by coffee today because we're doing an early recording, so can't blame the alcohol on this one. But I digress. Vikings at Falcons. Falcons are favored by 4.5 points in this game because most likely we are going to have not Josh Dobbs, but Jaren Hall starting this game for the Vikings. And then also Desmond Ridder getting benched in favor of Tyler Heineke. So I will start with you, Tony, on this one as well. Or actually, start with myself. I'm going to go with the Falcons on this one. Yeah. I don't see Jaren Hall being able to win this game, his first game. Also, by the way, Jaren Hall was the backup at BYU for Zach Wilson, but dude also served his mission, so he is older currently in the league than Trevor Lawrence, Jalen Hurts, Justin Fields, Zach Wilson, Brock Purdy, Jordan Love, Mac Jones, and Tua is actually only a couple weeks older than him. So good luck to Jaren Hall. I do see the Green Lizard and the Falcons pulling it off. They performed a lot better once Desmond Ridder was benched at halftime of that game last week, and then Taylor Heineke came in and was able to get some points on the board. So we'll jump to South Beach aficionado, Nick Kerr. Who do you have in this one?
I'm right there with you, Chris. I'm going to take the Falcons in this, and it is going to be the battle of the backups with Jaren Hall and Taylor Heineke. But the Falcons this year, they're 3-1 at home. I think there's probably going to be a lot of turnovers in this game because both teams do turn over the ball a lot. So for that, I'm going to take the home team.
All right. Mr. Parlay Reyes. Oh, looks like you're on a lonely island, my friend. Tell us why you're picking Jaren Hall and the Vikings.
This isn't about the Vikings. This is about the Falcons. 4.5 points is too many points with whoever's playing quarterback for them. Like Taylor Heineke had its moments in the league. Maybe he's an upgrade for Desmond Ridder. I hope so. But the Vikings, they're a tough team. Brian Flores is a good coordinator. They're going to keep that close. Falcons probably win that game by a field goal. I'll take the extra 1.5 of value. I think the Falcons probably still win, but I'm going to go ahead and take the Vikings to cover.
All right, fair. Another fun fact about Jaren Hall: he's also the first black QB to start for BYU. So, fun fact that you can have at Bar Trivia Night. All right, we have the Chicago Bears at the Superdome. New Orleans Saints. Saints favored by 7.5 points in this game. Nick, I'll jump back to you. Who do you have, Saints or Bears?
Chris, I'm going to go with the Saints in this game because Chicago going into New Orleans, into that Superdome, is just going to be a tough environment. And the Saints, they have a top 5 passing defense and their top 10 scoring defense right now. So I think it's going to be hard for them to get points. On the other side of the ball, Chicago, their pass defense is giving up a lot of points, and Derek Carr has 3 straight 300-yard games. So for that, I'm going to go with the Saints.
I too am also going with the Saints, Nick. Tyson Bagent starting for the Bears again with Justin Fields still sidelined. Definitely had a return to reality against the Chargers last weekend, losing 30-13. And also additionally, just the Bears have one of the worst defenses in the league. 4 times in the last 8 games, they've given up 30+ points. And then Derek Carr and the Saints have been able to beat up on bad teams. So I see the Bears losing by double digits on this one and going to have a 1-4 record on the road after this. So, Tony, we'll check back with you. Who do you have, Bears or Saints?
I'm in complete agreement with both you guys. I don't really like the Saints too much, but the Bears, everything that you guys have said is completely accurate. That's why they went into the trade market and got Montez Sweat earlier this week. Their defense is really lacking. Seems like that team is going to be making some changes at the head coaching spot pretty soon as well. I wouldn't be surprised if they were one of the teams that fired their head coach. And the Saints, they are competent. They're competent. And they're at home. Their defense is good. They're probably going to win this by double digits. I am a little worried that we are all in complete agreement on this without any hesitation from any of us. But I'm going to go ahead and just seal it up. Family play. We're all on the Saints this week.
Yeah, it's hard to be a reasonable human being inside with Tyson Bagent and the Bears. All right, moving on to 2 teams that came hot out of the gate to start the season, and now it seems like they're on the outside looking in when it comes to playoff odds. We have the Los Angeles Rams in Lambeau against the Green Bay Packers. Green Bay favored by 3 points in this one. Tony, we'll start with you. Who do you have, Rams or Packers?
I took the Rams, Chris, and this goes back to our earlier conversation this year where you said Jordan Love was going to be a bust. There is no way that Packers team should be favored over anyone. I don't care if Matt Stafford isn't playing for the Rams. I'll take a backup quarterback and McVay over Jordan Love and that Packers team. Something's wrong in Green Bay. I don't know if it's with the head coach or the quarterback, but they are bad. They are not a good team. They've got a lot to change. Like, maybe Aaron Rodgers wasn't the problem there. I remember you were saying that. Yeah, I'm taking the Rams because there's no way I can back anything. I'm not no reasonable person can back Green Bay. So I'm backing the Rams.
All right. I'm in agreement with you, Tony. I am also taking the Rams in this game. Packers have been 1-5 in their last 6 games. Rams, like 3-5 to start the season. And this is very much trending to be the butt game of the week, where you're gonna have Brett Rippon versus Jordan Love. But like Tony said, don't care who's playing QB for the Rams. My biggest concern is for the Packers and their QB. Jordan Love's, if like he's gonna have any chance to win this game, he's gonna have to win this game in the air for the Packers to have any shot. They're only 28th in rushing in the league. Last game, they only had 34 yards off 4 carries against the Vikings. Just an inept rushing team. So yeah, like I don't see Jordan Love stepping up and winning this game for them. So give me the Rams. All right. Let's check with Nick Kerr. Who do you have, Nick? Rams or Packers?
I am going on my lonely island, and I am taking the Packers. Yes, the Packers have been a miserable team in the first half. Yes, they are in danger of losing their 3rd straight game at Lambeau Field. But I don't trust the Rams without Matthew Stafford. And they are 2-1 on the road, but I think that the Packers break their 4-game losing streak. Late touchdown by Jordan Love. Game won't be pretty, but I think the Green Bay is going to win this.
Hey man, don't knock on Brett Rippon. He has some potential. So, all right, moving forward, we have the Seattle Seahawks, the NFC West division leader Seahawks versus Baltimore Ravens. Baltimore favored by 5.5 points in this game. Tony, jumping back to you. Who do you have? Seahawks or Ravens?
I took the Seahawks, Chris. Felt like too many points. Even though I really wanted to pick the Ravens, I know that Pete Carroll's pretty good at 1 o'clock games, even though this is West Coast going east. I feel like I think the Seahawks win this game outright, and we're going to be talking about next week how the Ravens somehow lost this weird game that was low scoring, and the Seahawks just won it because of the weather, and something weird is going to happen in that game. So I'm taking the Seahawks. I'm taking the Seahawks. 5.5 points, and they're going to be my upset win. I like it. Seahawks going on the road, pulling this off. I got so confused on that one, man. I'm telling you.
All right, Nick, who do you have, Hawks or Ravens?
I'm right there with you, Tony. I'm taking the Seahawks in this. And did you know that probably did, but Pete Carroll's record against John Harbaugh's 2-1. So I think he goes to 3-1 on this. I agree with you. This is probably going to be an upset. People have been really high on the Ravens the last few weeks. I think they take a step down this game, and Geno Smith and the Seahawks end up winning this.
All right, I'm on a lonely island for this one. I'm going with Lamar Jackson and the Ravens. I think they can win by over a touchdown this game. Ravens back at home after being on the road the last 4 out of 5 weeks, so I think that's going to be huge for them. And then also I think they really got that running game involved last week. Lamar Jackson struggled to find some of his receivers against the Cards, but they were able to get Gus Edwards involved last week, and so I think that'll be huge for them, especially playing against the Seahawks. So yes, give me Lamar Jackson, who's finally starting to find some weapons on that offense. All right, moving forward, we have the Buccaneers at the Texans in Houston. Houston surprisingly favored by 2.5 points on this one. Let's start with Tony. Tony, who do you have, Bucs or Texans?
I'm taking the Texans, Chris. This is going to be a bounce back game from them. Somehow they got upset by the Panthers last week. You may have called that. I don't remember. But the Texans, everyone on the team played bad. C.J. Stroud played bad. Defense played bad. They're due for a bounce back performance here at home. I didn't really like what I saw of the Bucs last Thursday when they played the Bills, even though they had some chicanery happen on that Hail Mary. Didn't really like what I was seeing out of that Bucs offense and Baker. I think people are catching up to him. I like the Texans at home here.
I'm in agreement with you, Tony. I'm also taking the Texans. Like, they've been playing well at home, and I think they bounced back from that Panthers game. I did call that a bit of a trap game for rookie C.J. Stroud. But no, give me the Texans bouncing back. I think that defense takes care of Baker and the Bucs, and then I think C.J. Stroud, like, he's going to be able to overcome that Bucs D as well. So, let's check in with Nikipedia. Nick, who do you have, Bucs or Texans?
I'm going with Baker and the Bucs. Yeah, I agree. The Texans lost a heartbreaker last week, and it's a reminder that this is still a work in process with the rookie quarterback. He's taken 13 sacks in their 4 losses and only 2 in their 3 wins. I think the Bucs defense does get to him this week, makes it a little hard for him, and Baker Mayfield going back to Texas. I think he wins it.
Okay, all right. Baker returning home. I like that. All right, we have the Washington Commanders at New England Patriots. Patriots favored by 3.5 points. Start with myself on this one. I'm going with the Washington Commies. Patriots just aren't a very good team, like, plain and simple. And so, also, the 3.5 points, the half-point hook, I think, if anything, Patriots win this by a field goal. Do not see them win by more than that. So, yes, give me the Commies in this one. Nick, let's check back in on you. Who do you have, Commies or Patriots?
I'm right there with you, Chris. I'm going to take the Commies in this one. Because the Patriots offense just isn't very good. They went 31st in the NFL in scoring offense at 14.8 points a game. And even with the Commanders trading away a few of their defensive players, they still have depth at that line, and I think they can get to Mac Jones. So for that, I'm going to take the Commanders.
Pretty much my grandmother could get to Mac Jones at this point in time, so very believable. All right, let's check in with Mr. Parlay Reyes. Oh, he's on the lonely island. Why are you picking Bill Belichick and the Pats?
This is an ugly one, man. I didn't really want to back Mac Jones, but maybe this is an audition for Bill Belichick's next coaching stop. Maybe he pulls out all the stops against this Sam Howell quarterback who's been sacked insane amounts of times this season. For some reason, the Commanders can't protect him despite the new scheme or whatever they got going on there. And I don't know, the Commanders trading those players just makes me think that the team's not all in, and I easily think the Patriots win this game by a touchdown maybe, and it's ugly, but it's like 20-13 or something like that, and Bill Belichick pulls out all the stops to show how great of a defensive coach he is.
All right. Moving forward, we have the Arizona Cardinals at the Cleveland Browns. Cleveland favored by 8.5 points. Another fun segment we like to do around here. Is Deshaun Watson playing or not? We don't know, but we'll fucking rock with this game anyway. So, Nick, start with you. Who do you have, Cards or Browns?
I'm going to go with the Browns in this game, even though Arizona got off to a decent start. They're headed in the wrong direction. They just traded away Josh Dobbs. I know Kyler Murray may be coming back at some point, but the Browns are clearly the better team here. So for that, I'm going to take the Browns.
All right. Tony, who do you have, Cards or Browns?
I agree with Nick. I'm taking the Browns as well. I know it's a lot of points. The Browns did just lose that heartbreaker up in Seattle. I have no faith in the Cardinals. Was it Clayton Tune? Is that really the starting quarterback they're going with against that Browns defense? I think the Browns, I think they crush them, man. I think this is blowout written all over it.
Mm-hmm.
I'll tell you one thing that I do know about this game. This game is a shit show. I don't know if Kyler Murray's playing. I don't know if Deshaun Watson's playing. I don't know what the hell's going on in this game. So, for the first time ever, I'm doing a flipping it. I have myself here an M&M's World Poker chip that I'm going to flip. And so, I guess we'll consider this heads. We'll consider this tails. Heads is the home team, I believe, are Nick's rules.
Yes.
So, We got heads. We got the home team. So it looks like I'm going with the Browns as well. Hope Deshaun Watson plays. We'll find out. Check us out in the Week 9 recap next week for that one. What a frustrating game. All right, we have the Indianapolis Colts at the Carolina Panthers. Indy favored by a field goal in this game. Tony, let's bounce back to you. Who do you have, Colts or Panthers?
Well, this is the Frank Reich revenge game. I know he's really going to want to try and win this game after the Colts fired him. And I think the Panthers kind of figured something out against the Texans. And Bryce Young's starting to piece it together. I think they're at home. They're underdogs. They're getting the field goal. I'm all over that. Give me the Panthers in this one.
Okay. Kitty roar. I'm going with the Panthers as well, Tony. Yeah, like Colts in their last 3 games, they've given up 37 points, 39 points, 38 points. Panthers fresh off of their first win of the season. They're still at home. They were at home last week. And I also see this being a revenge game for Frank Reich and company. So give me the Panthers to win their second of the season in this one. So, Mr. Nicopedia, who do you have? Do you have the Kitties or do you have the Colts?
I'm going with the Colts. I'm going to get on my lonely island here. I know that the Colts have lost 3 straight games. But wasn't it a few weeks ago that we were talking about were the Panthers going to win a single game all year? So now you guys have them winning 2? Okay. But I think the bigger thing here is that Carolina's defense is letting up an average of 140 yards a game. So I think that we can see, or I think we will see this week, that Jonathan Taylor breakout game. And for that, I'm going to take the Colts.
All right. And hey, neither of us said we had any integrity. Like, that was never claimed, so calm down, Nick.
There was a material change that occurred in our opinions.
Yeah,
they won the first game.
That's right.
Panthers fans, you can reach Nick at the following address that we'll post down here. We have, God, another just game that I don't want to talk about. New York Giants at the Las Vegas Raiders. Raiders favored by 1.5 point here. I'll start with you, Tony, on this one. Who do you have, Giants or Raiders?
This is a trap game. They did everything to try and make you bet on the Giants here. The Raiders are winning this game at home. New coach Antonio Pierce putting in Aiden O'Connell at quarterback, who actually looked pretty decent in that start against the Chargers earlier this season. They are going to force feed Devontae Adams. This Giants team is they're just a mess. I don't like what I'm seeing. They blew that game to the Jets somehow, some way last week. That was like ridiculous fashion. Sorry, DeVito, not a believer. Yes, so give me the Raiders in this one.
All right, Nick, who do you have, Giants or Raiders?
I'm going to take the Giants in this one because after what I saw on Monday night, I have absolutely no faith in that Raiders team whatsoever. And the Giants, surprisingly, in their last 3 games are 2-0-1 against the spread. So for that, I'm going to take the Giants.
All right. Like I said, game I didn't really want to talk about or discuss or even waste my mental capacity on. So, for the second time ever, I'm going to flipping it. This time, I'll go with the orange M&M poker chip. Alright. Tails! Looks like I'm going with the Giants, and Tony's on a lonely island for this game. Dun dun dun. Sorry, Tony.
It's okay. Check it out.
Hey, at least you're on a lonely island where gambling's legal out there in the desert. So, all right, final game, or actually, yeah, final game of these Sunday day games. We have the Dallas Cowboys at the Philadelphia Eagles. Definitely the game of the week, I would say, outside of Chiefs Dolphins. Philly favored by a field goal in this one. Nick, we'll start with you on this. Cowboys or Eagles?
As much as it hurts me to do it, I'm going to take the Eagles in this. I really wanted to take the Cowboys, and if this game was in Dallas, I probably will be. But the Eagles are playing really well this year, and they're at home. And for that, I mean, this game could be a push with only the 3-point spread. But I think that the Eagles and Jalen Hurts make a late push in the fourth and end up winning it.
All right. Nick, I'm in agreement with you. I'm taking the Philly Dirty Birds. Yeah, I just much like that Dolphins Chiefs game. Like, it'd be great if the Cowboys win. It'd be a statement game. I just don't think you're quite there yet. So to go into Philly and win, don't see that possible at the moment. But wouldn't be surprised if Dallas wins. But yeah, give me the Eagles. Like, they've continued to do what they did last season, and I can't take credit for them. So that leaves us Tony, which, hey, Tony, why are you picking the Cowboys?
Because this game doesn't mean anything to the Eagles. And the Cowboys are going to go in there and win. And I believe it, but correct me if I'm wrong. The Eagles' next 2 weeks are a bye, Kansas City Chiefs. They do not care about this game. The Cowboys are going to go in there and win the game. And what's everyone going to talk about? Well, we'll see what happens in the playoffs. We'll see what happens in the playoffs. I can't believe that they lost that game. And then the Eagles are going to go on bye. The Chiefs are going to go on bye. And then they're going to play in some big hyped up game. And then people will start talking about the Niners and the Jags. But the Cowboys will win this game. And it's just like Bills Dolphins. Like, the Cowboys the Eagles don't match up well with the Cowboys. Like, whenever Dak is there, he hasn't lost them in like 5 years. So it's just like, he'll probably beat them. And it'll be a cool kind of thing, like the opposite of the San Francisco thing. But I just don't think the Eagles care about this game. It's like, and in this season in which we don't really have a favorite team, I see the Eagles and the Chiefs both having the same record going into that mid-season matchup. Hyping that up is like, there's that game right there. So I think the Cowboys win it because they care more.
All right. Tony, I'll ask you this. If you get your ass kicked like the Niners game, what are your feelings on this game going to be?
I would be very surprised. I would be very surprised because, like I said, that's never been the case in any of their matchups, man. If that happened, I would be like, wow, man, that's a shock. Like, Philly really is like on a different level, but I really haven't seen them do that to any team this season. Like, I just don't think that they're clicking like they were last year. I think they're just leaning on teams and kind of winning on talent and scraping by. So I just think they're going to just lose this game because they're looking forward to that Chiefs matchup that's way more important to them. And if you look at the next 5 games for the Eagles, it's like Chiefs, Bills, Niners, Cowboys again. So, I mean, this is probably the game they drop before they go ahead and get into their mode to get ready for that second half stretch.
Okay. Final question before we get out of here, gentlemen. If the Cowboys win this game, where would you rank them in terms of the NFC? Nick?
I'd put them in the top 3 where we've had them most of the year. Because it would be a big win for them, and we've seen the Lions lose some big games. So I'd put them top 3 up there with still with Philly and with San Francisco.
Okay. I would say that if the Cowboys won this game, like, you'd have to put them at 1 or 2 in the NFC, and that's above the Niners, who beat them. I realize that sounds crazy, but I think it would be that big of a win. So, Tony?
I would love it, but I don't think that because I think their thing is going to be the big games. And I think that if the Eagles lose this game, it's not going to be considered a big game. Like, I think it's just going to be thrown into the wash, like when the Chiefs lost to the Broncos. I don't think people consider that like a big game for the Chiefs. Like, if the Cowboys win this game, it'll be like, cool, man, everything's going in the right direction. We still need to see something from you when it matters most. And the Eagles will just brush that away to be like, oh, yeah, of course. Like, we're going to split with them. We're going to beat them when we go to Dallas later on this season. And I kind of think that's what we'll look at. And I think Nick's right. I think Dallas will still be in that top 3 with the Lions on the outside. And despite Seattle having that division lead over the Niners, I still think more people, and myself included, have faith in the Niners over that Seahawks team.
All right. Fair. It's a topic I guarantee we will discuss in our Week 9 recap next week, so check that out. All right, everyone. This was the Pick'ems episode. Thanks for joining us. I hope you enjoy some football. We got some great games this week. So we also have some ass games, as I pointed out. So enjoy those as well. But everyone, have a great weekend. We'll be back with our Sunday night football picks and our Monday night football picks as well. Check it out then. Later, y'all.
Thanks for watching the Sports Buds. Be sure to like, follow, and subscribe.